What is up, Star Wars fans? Welcome to the Star Wars Stop. In this video, I'm going to teach you how to absolutely destroy with the ATST. Now, if you don't already know this, the ATST is literally a game changer in Battlefront 2. It can take your team from on the verge of losing to completely annihilating enemy team in no time, if you know what you're doing with it. So let's get into the abilities here first off. Now, the ATST gets a motion scanner to help you kind of see the enemies, where they are, a little anti-vehicle missile. Now, that means just for vehicles. You can use it on whatever you feel like. And a grenade launch, which is great for taking out clusters of enemies or enemies behind cover. Now, we'll talk more about how to use these abilities in the gameplays I'm going to show, but getting to the star cards, I recommend repair systems because, in general, you just want more health with this thing. Reinforced hulls also really good, and so is protected critical systems. Now, these are obviously all three of the choices. They're going to help boost your health, but that doesn't mean these other cards are bad. If you want a little bit more damage, go for it, but in my opinion, it's an easy choice. The damage this thing puts out is already phenomenal, but staying alive can be tricky at times under a lot of firepower. So yeah, but all the cards are good. Getting into the gameplay now, I mean, basically, think of this as you would a normal infantry. You just are much bigger. You can put out a lot more damage. And what I mean by that is you need to use cover. You don't just think you're a big tank and run in and die, because that is what will happen when the whole enemy team focuses on you. See how here I'm strategically using this big pillar, or not pillar, but you know, whatever the hell you call this big mound in the map of Crate as cover from the enemies. And I'm poking out, taking some shots, and going back into cover to get my health back. I'm not just standing out in the open and unloading on the enemies. While you can do that at times, your health does go down this thing. Don't think you're invincible. I've seen a lot of ATST players just run in and die, and there's no reason to do that. You want to put out as much damage as possible. And I'm really going to help our team take this objective here by consistently keeping the enemies bottled up in that objective. Just look at how many of them I get right there. There's no way they can escape that. And as you can see, the heavy's putting damage on me. Everybody's putting damage on me. Because I'm facing them head on, I'm not taking as much damage as I would if I was getting shot in the behind. Obviously, the weakened part of the ATST is the back, so you want to always be facing forward on the enemies. Now, the lasers do incredible damage, so you really, if this thing just had the lasers, it would be an awesome tank in and itself, but throwing in the rocket launcher every now and then and the sprinkles of grenades is going to help you do a little bit more damage to big groups of enemies. But as you can see, the lasers do a ton of damage on their own, and they have a big AoE, so you don't even have to be super accurate with this thing. Now, on a map like Tatooine, you know, all the maps are going to be different strategies for how to use these things, but I like to go back here and just completely cut off and in general with the ATST, your job is going to be to cut off the reinforcement supply to the objectives. Now, you can either plant yourself on an objective and completely kill anything that comes near it, or you can completely stop enemies from getting to the objective in the first place. Both are going to be very effective for your team, but the idea is to get in and out, because after a while you will start to take damage to this thing and your health will go down, and obviously it doesn't help anybody if you just run in and die with the ATST. You want to make a dent with it. Here, I make my retreat. I had planned out that I'm going to go to my teammates here. Now, notice I'm exposing my behind, and that's the thing. When you're running away with an ATST, you do have to expose your behind. This is a great example right here is how fast I'm able to take out this Rebel speeder. Even though I had such low health, it's very hard for those enemy vehicles to put a dent in you, actually. It's not easy for them to take you out, but it's very easy for you to kill the Rebel tanks, the AT-RT, the land speeder, you name it. They're super easy for you to take out, but it takes them a lot of firepower to actually kill you. But, yeah, as you can see, I mean, it's just a slaughter. I mean, there's not really too much to tell you. I mean, be consistent with your shots, aim where the enemies are, and they will all die. I mean, it's really that simple when you're in a tank like this. Now, you see the anti-vehicle turrets can mess you up. They can do a lot of damage to you, so you do need to watch out for those. Once you see them homing in on you, you want to either take them out very fast, even prioritize them over enemy infantry, and then go back to killing the enemy infantry, just because of how much damage they can put out on you. And it feels like every heavy and their mother uses that card now, so you definitely do need to watch out for those. Then the good news is you can see where they're coming from and be able to destroy that turret very quickly. Here on Taco Dawn, I'm going to plant myself right on this objective because my teammates were not pushing this, and they were the enemy team was really entrenched here. So I knew I needed to just get in there, kill a couple of them, and then make a slight retreat. And that's what I'm going to consistently do. I'm going to push forward, take out a bunch of enemies, then fall back, get my health back. I'm going to keep rinsing and repeating that process, and eventually we will take this hilltop. Now, I just gave you a lot of information, but that's pretty much what it is, guys. I mean, playing as an ATSD is very easy mode, and if you know what you're doing, you can essentially take a game that should have been lost and make it a winning game. And the devs know that. They've actually made it so that this ATSD is not available on Takodana, on this map you're looking at right now, until you've spent a certain amount of your reinforcement card, because they don't want you to just run with the ATSD from the outset. If you did that, it would be easy mode. They want you to actually wait until your team actually needs an advantage like this ATSD to take this hilltop. Now, this is a great example of how fast your health can actually get dropped with this thing, because you can see me walking up here and this combined arms fire from all these infantry takes me down really fast. I mean, my health is going down fast, and you saw my maxed out cards, and I'm still getting dropped pretty quickly. The other great thing about the ATS is obviously can send heroes running in a hurry. It does destroy heroes extremely fast, so there's no issue there. But, I mean, lightsaber wielders cannot really even damage you, so there's nothing to worry about with them. You should definitely try and take them out for your teammates if you're in the ATSD, though. Not a whole lot more to say, guys. I mean, just be aggressive, but keep an eye on your health bar and retreat when you need to. The scan pulse is great because, especially maps like this where you have so many trees and shrubbery, it's going to be hard for you to see, where all the enemies are hiding. So definitely keep using the scan pulse, keep an eye on its cooldown, and use it when you need to. It's going to give you a real big edge when you're trying to hunt down enemies and take them out before they can put a ton of damage on you. But that is it for this video, guys. Be sure to rate, like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for tons and tons of Battlefront. Have an awesome day.